Cory Snyder and Toxic dominated the Pennsylvania swing as the Monsters entered week number 5. Can this black and green Ford keep the wins coming? Or has Snyder's dominance left the other drivers seeing red? The Renegade monster trucks fly high in Hoosier territory. Next.
You're looking at the beautiful lakeside scenery just behind the speedway here for this week's edition of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour, coming at you from Brownstown, Indiana at the Brownstown Speedway. Our Renegade Elite getting ready to take to the track in front of a packed house here on the Jackson County Fair Complex in Brownstown, Indiana. This should be an awesome night of action. It's all monster trucks. Don't have the tough trucks with us this week, but these guys are ready to try to shake things up here on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Before we get into action, let's take a look at our field of trucks. And that field will start this week with Joe Lockhart, the rookie in Barely Tame. He's been having some mechanical problems with that truck. They're trying to find those gremlins. Can they work them out this week? Then Zane Rettew, coming off an awesome freestyle last week in unscored competition. This week, she will be scored, so it will be to her benefit to try to keep up that momentum. Then undefeated in racing, Cory Snyder in Toxic would love to make it a 5-for-5 showing here at Brownstown, Indiana, but this guy right here, Zane Rettew, Stinger Unleashed, has other ideas. He would love to make it a clean sweep show for himself here in the Hoosier State. Well, we still have fans making their way in as we're about to get started with our best trick competition. The vehicles lined up all the way down about a mile of roadway. There are a lot of people trying to get in tonight to see the Renegade Monster Truck Tour live. A look at our minis as they head back into the pits. There you see Zane Rettew and Stinger Unleashed. He gets ready for his best trick competition attempt. First up, though, the man out of Oil City, Pennsylvania, the rookie Joe Lockhart in Barely Tame. See what he can do. Truck smoking quite a bit on him right there, and it looks like he's having rear steering problems again. He's been having these problems for about the last 3 weeks now. This is not the way he wanted to start off action. Got a nice donut out of it in spite of the rear steering running back and forth on it, but every time he steps on the throttle, that thing seems to cock the rear end around to the left, make the truck want to make a right-hand turn, so it's really, really hurting him right now as he tries to line up for his second hit here in the best trick competition. And this could actually hurt him, even though all you have to do is make 2 hits to get a score. You really want to treat these best trick competitions like mini freestyle, so momentum can be your best friend. And looks like he's trying to get it straightened out. I thought he was going to drive off the track there for a second, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and try to make another hit, but the truck really does not seem to be cooperating with Joe Lockhart. Not a bad showing, but he has got to be sick to his stomach right now. Joe Lockhart having problems in Barely Tame, trying to get the truck to cooperate with him, but wasn't going to happen. Here's that first move he made. Looks like he's burning a lot of oil right now as he started to get over there toward the infield. The problems for Joe Lockhart in Barely Tame. Not a bad score, but I do have a feeling he's going to be topped before the end of this best trick competition as Pretty Wicked. 96 Ford out of Dover, Delaware. Zane Rettew, the better half of the Rettew Motorsports camp. Part-time monster truck driver, full-time mom. Going to try to cut out a donut. Wayne's towing and recovery, Pretty Wicked kicking up the dust here on the front stretch of the Brownstown Speedway. Now, she was drifting over onto the grass. That may have been why they cut her off. I do believe they shut her down to keep her from ripping up the infield, but great start for her. Zane Rettew, pretty wicked now, stalking down the front stretch in front of the crowd, getting ready for hit number 2 here in the best trick competition. She looked awesome last week. Got a nice start. Didn't get a chance to race. She went right into freestyle and looked great there. So she's definitely just growing leaps and bounds as a monster truck driver. Let's see what she has for hit number 2. Just explodes the back of that racing ramp. There's some Ute tires buried in there. I think she just kicked the top of the top layer of dirt off the back of that ramp as we take another look at it. Yeah, you can see a little bit of dead space in those tires, and it just threw dirt everywhere. Very spectacular. With that score of 7, she will take the lead as Cory Snyder, undefeated in racing, has yet to win a best trick competition. One of 2 trucks that are undefeated in their primary disciplines on this tour. Zane Rettew has won every best trick competition first 4 weeks on this tour. Cory would love to upset him here. Nice hit right there. I think he wanted a little more out of it, probably going for a walking wheelie, and it did not quite materialize. Keep in mind, as bad as he wants to upset Zane in best trick and make it a sweep for Toxic, Zane's looking to do the same thing and upset Cory in racing. We'll see what Cory Snyder has for the crowd here in Brownstown here with hit number 2. Trying to line up for a 2-wheel, but there's just no tread left in those China tires right there. As Cory gonna cut out a donut. Couple extra moves in that run. It was a strong run, but not one that I believe is going to take over the lead. Had some struggles there. Take another look at that sky wheelie off the back of the race ramp. It was a good one, but Zane Rettew really set the bar on what's going to have to be done with those race ramp hits to take over the lead as our final competitor rolls out. Zane Rettew out of Dover, Delaware, the patriarch of the Rettew Motorsports clan. Didn't think he was going to get that moonwalk. I didn't think he was going to get it into a stoppie. He slid on the grass, did a great job grabbing a hold of reverse and backing it up and over the ramp on the front tires. Hit number 2. Zane is on it this week. If he does nothing else right now, I'm going to go ahead and say he just took the best trick competition victory. That was an awesome pair of moonwalks he just did right there. The first one was near perfect. Getting that ATI Performance Stinger unleashed into the spin cycle. Can't leave the track without his signature cyclones. Throws an extra one in there as he just dusted down the infield. There you see Forrest going out to make sure he didn't get into the wall or anything, but Zane Rettew always good at keeping it between the lines here, and I can guarantee you he just took his 5th best trick competition victory. And indeed he did. Zane Rettew, Stinger unleashed with a score of 9. What a run for the big machine out of Dover, Delaware. So that's 5 for 5 in best trick competition. We are just getting started though here in Brownstown, Indiana. Racing is coming at you next. Stay with us on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. The Renegade Monster Truck Tour is brought to you by Wayne's Towing and Recovery. Anytime, day or night, we're here to help when you need it. And by 717 Wraps and Graphics, dedicated to providing you with a one-of-a-kind experience. 717 Wraps, Lancaster's premier vinyl wrap and graphic service.
Remember being a little kid, playing in the sandbox with your toy truck? Dreaming of the day you could pilot a real 1,500 horsepower monster truck? Well, now you can. DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com, located just outside of Dover, Delaware, offers a state-of-the-art training facility on a huge outside track, which allows you, the fan, to get strapped into one of the very monster trucks you are watching perform today. DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com puts you in a once-in-a-lifetime experience with a professional monster truck driver who will coach you through your day of practicing competitive race passes, wheelies, jumping, throttle rhythm, and end your day competing in your very own 90 seconds no rules freestyle, all while on-site safety officials and Renegade technicians stand by to ensure your day is safe and the truck stays operating at the highest level possible. No strings attached. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience for you to pilot a full state-of-the-art monster truck. All experiences are recorded on video, both from the ground and also on board, so you can continue to remember your driving debut for years to come. Schedule your day of insane fun now at DriveRealMonsterTrucks.com and on Facebook at Drive Real Monster Trucks.
The Renegade Monster Truck Tour is brought to you by ATI Performance Products, driving technology to the finish line. The Renegade Monster Truck Tour back with you here at Brownstown Speedway, Brownstown, Indiana, with the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Minis. Logan Lockhart getting us started off in the best trick competition with a nice sky wheelie right there. Gets more and more daring each and every week out now. Garrett Rettew, the youngest of the brothers Rettew, driving the Pretty Wicked Mini of the Wayne's Towing and Recovery. Pretty Wicked, trying to outdo Logan Lockhart. Not a bad job for him right there. And then our guest Mini in the house this week from right down the road here in Indiana. That is Colton Kaiser in the Alan Pizzo chassis American Scout Mini. And this guy laid it down. Dragging the wheelie bar, the American Scout Colton Kaiser. Giving this guy something to go after. This guy has been head and shoulders above the competition every week. The oldest of the Rettew brothers, CJ Rettew, in the Stinger Unleashed Mini. You can see he's done some damage the last couple of weeks to that body. Got Dad smiling though, because Zane wants these guys driving hard as they can each and every week here on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. CJ Rettew wrapping up Mini Monster Best Trick in the Wayne's Towing and Recovery Stinger Unleashed Mini as we get into side-by-side monster truck racing action. Round number one, our first two competitors making their way out of the pits, up over the berm, and to the starting line of this really interesting speedway here. And you can see that big berm as they come in. There's actually some ramps built on the backside of that berm that we may see these guys use in freestyle. But right now, it's all about straight line racing. Joe Lockhart would love to pick up a racing victory here. He's been in the finals twice this year on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour, but he has not taken a racing win. Can he get one here? He gets out on Zane Rettew, but the rear steering plagues him again. Zane Rettew in Stinger Unleashed will move on to the championship round against the winner of our next matchup. There you see the 6:02 for Zane Rettew. Full second faster than his competition as Lindsay Rettew rolls out now and Pretty Wicked. And Cory Snyder in Toxic Joe will move on to the third place race. Hopefully right now they're back in the pits. They've already got the truck stopped. Jay Snyder's brought the lighting over and they're getting to work. They're going to try to find what is going wrong in this truck and get Joe Lockhart back on the line, or at least get that truck set for freestyle. As we roll our next pair to the line, Lindsay Rettew in Pretty Wicked taking on Cory Snyder, undefeated racing winner here in Toxic. Can he keep the streak alive and go undefeated the entire season? Lindsay gets out on him. Great racing pass for both of those drivers right there, but Cory Snyder in Toxic will take another victory and get himself into another final round matchup at a 5:22. A great run for him as work continues on Joe Lockhart's Barely Tame.
Wire tie. Anyone got it available? I got some. Get it.
In. No wrenches laying in here?
No wrenches.
Okay.
You can see the Toxic team working to try to get him to the line as we take another look at what happened in his first round race pass. You'll see he actually had a good starting line launch. He was going to make Rettew work for that win, but right there in no man's land, the rear steering cocked on him, and there was nothing he could do.
Let it come back. Is it on auto?
We had a bypass steering cylinder on Barely Tame.
We'll go back and forth.
It's terrible. Joe really wanted the race today, and literally $115 cylinder knocked him out. We had to throw parts out at it until we discovered that it was actually the right steering cylinder bypassing. So Joe's a little upset right now, so I'm sure you're going to get a heck of a show out of him for Freestyle.
Stop. Just go left and right for a second. Let it auto.
You see Kevin Rico really working hard to try to get this truck back out onto the track, because right now they're trying to get Joe to the line for a third place race. Joe Lockhart, a stock car racer, and certainly not one who likes to just hand a victory over to somebody. Lindsay Rettew would walk away with third place from tonight. This is just for a third place race right now. Now I see lane lights moving back there in the pits, so Lindsay Rettew on her way out. There's not a lot of time between round one and this third place race to get these trucks fixed. And you can hear the crowd cheering. We see Barely Tame coming out of the pit area. They were down to literally like 15 seconds maybe on that clock. They fired that truck up. They're bringing them both to the line. So it's just a third place race. But Joe Lockhart will always be a racer at heart. He wants to beat Lindsay Rettew straight up for that third place victory, or at the very least give her a run for her money, make her earn that third place. Lindsay herself, though, not to be outdone. She wants a racing win just as bad as Joe right now. I think she's had a rough year so far as we stage them for the third place race. Joe in the near lane, Lindsay in the far lane. Lindsay with problems in no man's land still made a race out of it as they almost get together there after the finish line. A 5:28 for Barely Tame. Not a bad run for Joe Lockhart at all. He will take third place even with all those problems. He will not finish dead last here. The Rettew Motorsports clan and Warp Motorsports, that's Cory Snyder and Jay Snyder and Kevin Rico getting Barely Tame Ford back to the starting line. So Joe and the Rettew Motorsports camp got to be very grateful to those guys as Zane Rettew stalks his way across the infield to take on that guy right there, Cory Snyder, the undefeated racing champion so far in 2020 on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. The challenge being thrown down right now by Zane Rettew. Can Cory Snyder make it 5 for 5 here in Brownstown, Indiana, or will Zane Rettew break the streak? Well, this so far, probably the most intense championship match we've had of the 5 staged this year as Zane Rettew does a little last-minute track grooming with the ATI Performance Products Stinger Unleashed, making sure he's lined up straight on that massive finish line jump. Those are some big ramps. I don't think there's anything in the rule book about what he just did, so he's perfectly legal. Cory doing the same thing, by the way, over here on the near side, but Zane has him outmatched as far as the tread goes on the tire. He probably can come off the starting line a lot harder. He's going to have to get it to settle in no man's land, though, and really give her all she has, because Cory has been running people down in no man's land. Even when he gets a bad start, he's been able to catch them on the big end of the track with the black and green Ford out of the old line state. We'll see, though, if Cory Snyder can pick up his 5th straight win here in the Hoosier state. This championship race on the line for us has got them staged. Stinger on the crowd side, Toxic on the infield side. Who will it be? Massive finish line launch for Cory Snyder. Exactly what I said. He chased him down in no man's land, but did he get the win? Late out of the hole. Zane absolutely got him off the start. He goes toward the center of the track. Cory actually driving a little to the outside. Zane almost missing the ramp. And Cory didn't do it. Zane Rettew breaks the streak. Stinger unleashed, taking the win away from Cory Snyder here in Brownstown, Indiana, as Cory goes flying down. And the celebration beginning right here for Zane Rettew in the ATI Performance Products Stinger Unleashed. That was a nice wheelie right there, man. He was so close to missing that ramp on that final charge toward the finish line, but that win right there had to feel good as he has been working, tried to get it last week in Franklin, Pennsylvania. He came so close but didn't quite have enough, but tonight he beats Cory Snyder in racing.
This is awesome. 5 weeks, he's had your number, and we went to look at the video. We thought you missed the ramp. You didn't miss the ramp. Congratulations. You're now the racing champion, man. Now you got to keep going.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, this Stinger Unleashed was built for one thing, and that's freestyle. I cannot stand racing. I think it's boring. But there's one thing about me, and I don't like to lose. So I went from not caring to caring because I just couldn't let him take another win. But you know what, that whole team back there, I cannot say enough about them. They have been supporting for me from day one. I've known them for a really long time. They were back there in the back, helping us get our truck fixed, barely tame. This whole tour, the Renegade Monster Truck Tour, is one big family. Everybody owns their trucks. But you know what, we're here to win, but most importantly, we want to make sure you guys win. It's been a hard year for every single one of you guys. It's been a hard year for all of us. I cannot thank the Brownstown Speedway enough for letting us come into their house and tear it up for you guys. Do not leave until the last truck freestyles, because I am going to run that truck into the ground until it will not physically move anymore. We have off next weekend, and then we're headed to Fargo, North Dakota. This is our first stop this year in Indiana. I absolutely love you guys, and I've told everybody from day one with this Stinger Unleashed truck, all you guys that are coming to a monster truck show for the first time, you might not know who Stinger Unleashed is. My goal at the end of the night, even if I don't win, is to do something spectacular and win you guys over and make sure the next time you come to a monster truck show, you want to make sure Stinger Unleashed is there. Feels great, guys.
What a victory after 5 straight weeks of Toxic being on top. Zane Rettew taking the racing victory here in Brownstown, Indiana. Freestyle is next. Can Stinger Unleashed make it a clean sweep? Stay with us.
Looking for quality graphics? Look no further than Bradley Shaw Designs, specializing in graphic designs for banners, vinyl wraps, posters, promotional items, and more. Bradley Shaw Designs is the exclusive digital graphics partner of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour and Rettew Motorsports. For more info, check out BradleyShawDesigns.com.
The wind is a-blowing here at Brownstown Speedway, Brownstown, Indiana, as some weather is moving in from the west, but we're just about to get our final competition of the night underway. It's Renegade Monster Truck Freestyle, and your first competitor up will be Joe Lockhart out of Oil City, Pennsylvania, driving the 96 Ford Barely Tame. Joe, not happy with his showing in Best Trick. Wasn't happy where he ended up in racing, even though he made up for it and got that third place race. He has a lot of frustration that he wants to take out on this freestyle run. We will see what Joe has for the crowd here in Brownstown, driving Barely Tame. Nice hang time right there. The motor sounds pretty good now. He had some engine problems a little bit earlier in the run, but he's not looking too bad at this moment. It's an awful lot of track to utilize here, though, in Brownstown, Indiana. Ripping up the track as he donuts just up the top of the berm. They're up over one of the tires. Bedside starting to come off of that thing. A nice sky wheelie there. Joe Lockhart. Strong opening, hard landing right there, though he got on the brakes. I've not seen Joe do that in a couple weeks. It's a little unexpected, but Joe, he may have been trying to get that thing into a slap wheelie, and again, the inexperience kind of won out over what he wanted the truck to do as he comes around. I told you earlier, there's some ramps up on the berms here. Joe lining up for what may be a massive hit up there in turn number 4. Across the racetrack and got the front wheels down on the grass in the infield. Joe Lockhart ripping up the track here in Barely Tame. Looks like he's going to wrap this one up in front of the crowd here at the Brownstown Speedway. The Wayne's Towing and Recovery Barely Tame machine out of Dover, Delaware, being driven by the man out of Oil City, Pennsylvania. What a run for Joe Lockhart. Tore the top off of that berm and that donut and then down onto the infield. Had to back out of it to avoid ripping up the turf down there. And then this massive launch again all the way over the racetrack. Landed with the front wheels right at the base of the infield. There's a little short berm coming onto the grass here, and Joe getting that truck fixed back out on the track and laying down an awesome run to open things up as Lindsay Rettew rolls out in Pretty Wicked. She's going to try to beat a 7. Another 96 Ford with a Patrick chassis underneath of a very, very similar machine to the Barely Tame. And she got out of it right there. She was starting to get off on that infield too. Gets a nice sky wheelie up and over the racing lane. Little slap wheelie out of it there. Probably wanted to carry it out, but those starting line bumps, those roller ramps are right there once you settle the front end back down, so didn't want to get herself in trouble as she motors her way around the Brownstown Speedway under the twilight. A backfire out of the engine right there. Doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. The truck's still responding pretty well, so sounds a little bit off though. She may be having some fuel problems. Now you can hear it popping, something not quite right inside of the Pretty Wicked Ford out of Dover, Delaware, as Lindsay Rettew works the track here, trying to knock off Joe Lockhart. Another awesome Sky Willie. She's really made that her forte this year. Just does not disappoint when she sets up for one of those. Laying down a solid run. I don't know if she's done enough to take over the lead, but nothing to be disappointed about. And that looks like it's going to be the end of it. Something definitely going wrong right there. Something went away in the motor, it sounds like, as Lindsay Rettew wrapping up her run here in Pretty Wicked. Front of the crowd here in Brownstown, Indiana. And she will tie Barely Tame, a score of 7 for Lindsay Rettew, but they're going to have to bring out the loader to get her off the track, I think, as they try to figure out what's going wrong. Though we're going to take a look now back at some of the mini freestyle, the Wayne's Towing and Recovery mini monsters. Garrett Rettew getting us started here in the Pretty Wicked mini. That truck went for a wild ride last week. Then Colton Kaiser, American Scout, home state boy out of Indiana, really gave us a thrill when he took on the racing lanes. Massive hang time for that Piso chassis. Mini monster out of the Hoosier State, representing the first responders very, very well. Came back for more out of this low lane, and again, just skying that Chevy-bodied Mini, and I think he's going to be feeling that hit for a couple of days. Colton Kaiser throwing down the gauntlet for this guy, CJ Rettew, with this extended Patriot chassis right here. Always very, very aggressive, and again, if you can't tell by the body, if you did not see our coverage from last week in Franklin, Pennsylvania, go back and check that out, because he and his brother both went for a wild, wild ride in these Wayne's Towing and Recovery minis as he wraps up his freestyle with his trademark sky wheelie off the side of the popper ramp. In fact, he went back for another, said one wasn't enough. Now that we've got our track cleared, we get back to Monster Truck Freestyle, our third competitor, your racing and best trick winner, looking to make it a clean sweep here tonight in the ATI Performance Products Machine out of Dover, Delaware. This is Zane Rettew in Stinger Unleashed. Cohen chassis with the Richard Midget horsepower inside of it. Working the track beautifully back down toward turn number 4 as he heads out. Now toward turn number 1. Those are some big racing ramps, if you couldn't tell by that finish line shot we got out of Toxic. Zane, he knows that hang time is there. Big sky wheelie for him, though. You hear something breaking up, or I don't know if that was the D-rings banging around on the chassis or what, but something clattering when he came down from that awesome sky wheelie. He's getting really good at those walking wheelies, but something banging around on that truck. We'll see. Scored a beat right now is a pair of 7s. Put away Barely Tame and Pretty Wicked. Gets the stoppie. Keeping it up there. Nicely done for Zane Rettew. Stinger Unleashed, the ATI Performance Products Ford-bodied Richard Midget horsepower machine. Working the dirt. And again, something making noise on that truck, but he gets another beautiful sky wheelie right there, really showing the torque. So he just sort of walked up to it and climbed the backside of that racing lane, putting the front end way in the air. A little bit slick on this dry grass out here. Well, he's going to wrap it up right there. I think he knows something's wrong. He has to be able to hear that or at least feel it. Something not right in that truck, and it started right here. This was a beautiful move. Truck sort of rocking around to the left on him there and walking its way down the ramp, but that's when we started to hear that strange noise coming out of this machine. And then right here, again, a beautiful stop. He performed to perfection, let it walk out, or walked it out a little bit. You see Forrest throwing the arms up. He was happy to see that. That's what Zane was really looking for, I think, in that best trick competition. But he didn't need it. He had some great moonwalks there. Here, got that stoppie, and then once he was done letting it sit there, he gets back in the throttle and slams that back end back down on the ground. A great run for Zane Rettew, and Stinger unleashed as he has the lead for the moment. But here is the guy that wants to ruin any hope of a clean sweep, as his streak's finally been broken. And talk about a guy who will be quite humble in a loss, at least on the mic. He's not happy about losing that streak. He wanted to go undefeated this whole season. At the very least, say he went 5 for 5 here in Brownstown, Indiana. Cory Snyder is about to take some frustration out on this track in Brownstown, Indiana, here in Freestyle. Big hit right there off the back of the roller ramp. Gotta love the sound of that Richard Midget horsepower coming through those open pipes. Cory Snyder in Toxic, the old line State Ford second generation driver. Really coming into his own over the last 2 years here, and it's been great to watch them develop this truck. It's an older truck, but you could not tell that by the way it performs. An awesome sky wheelie right there as he lets it roll down the face of the racing ramp. And this is a case where the lack of tread can actually help him, because he can really let that truck slide around here on this dry silt that we have out here on the front stretch of the Brownstown Speedway. Cory headed for the infield. Love that green and yellow underglow, those LEDs that Jay Snyder put underneath of that thing. That's his specialty, man. For many years ran the Illuminator. Now watching his son Cory go to work in Toxic. Beautiful hit, little save out of him right there, Cory Snyder. Really putting that big Ford to work. And again, I just love the sound of this engine through those open headers as he heads over and off the berm, comes launching back over top of turn number 4 and back onto the infield. Cory Snyder working this track beautifully in Toxic. See if he goes for a two-wheel move right here. Man, I don't think there's enough left of that popper ramp to really get anything off of it, and even over on that grass. Little sparks out of the brake rotor there, but Cory putting it in the spin cycle. Toxic with a cyclone right there. Let's see, what does he have left? Big hit there. There's the slap wheel he was looking for. And there's his signature, those drifting donuts that going across the front stretch. Cory Snyder in Toxic, wrapping this one up in style. But did he do enough to get the win? He had to beat an 8.
And the score is a 9.
Indeed, he did. You heard Matt Isbell say it. There you see it, a 9 to take the freestyle victory, his 3rd freestyle victory on this series. He did everything he needed to do to get that victory. It makes it so much better. Those LEDs underneath, I'll say it again, just make it look that much cooler when he is trotting around here in the dust. And that slap wheelie, he was trying to get that off that popper ramp. I guarantee you, that's what he was going for. He finally got it off the racing ramp. But no wasted effort in that run. Cory Snyder in Toxic, your freestyle winner in Brownstown.
Man, Zane has this, and then it's like, oh, Cory's checking it out, he did that better. You won the victory, man, congratulations. How's it feel right now? It feels good, yeah. Zane got me on my 5th straight title for making it right. Every dog has to stand, and I knew what that was racing that he got over his head. Just how it's mine. I didn't let it happen, man. And it's such a great show. Thank you all of you guys for coming out.
What a night in Brownstown, Indiana. That'll wrap it up for this edition of the Renegade Monster Truck Tour. Next week, we'll be coming at you from Reynoldsville, Pennsylvania. The Tough Trucks will be back with us as well. It's going to be an awesome one there, but our congratulations to Zane Rettew keeping the streak alive. And best trick, breaking the streak in racing. Can Zane begin a winning streak here on the Renegade Monster Truck Tour? We'll see. And then our congratulations to Cory Snyder for being our freestyle winner here in Brownstown. A little bit of rain is starting to fall, by the way, so we got this one in just in time. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next week with more from the Renegade Monster Truck Tour.